back to the channel, guys, and welcome to this recording that was totally not recorded during a live stream. Nobody type anything in chat, otherwise they'll know this was a live stream recording. I am a boiled egg. This was our first race at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in the F4 car in a long time. We didn't really qualify, didn't do any practice, and this is what happened, and this is what went wrong, and what we're going to do is we're going to see where we could have done better, where we could have done worse, and why I hate myself as well as iRacing. So first of all, we needed to qualify in the top 4 or 5, and you do that by practicing and hot lapping. iRacing is a hot lapping simulator. I should have totally have done like 3 hours of hot lapping until you're about 7/10 off the pace, and then you'll be in the top 5 or so, and that makes racing a lot easier, especially on a track like this, which is a lot of draft with this track. As you can see at the start, what I've done is I've gone wide round here to leave space up the inside. I normally expect cars to understeer off into us, but nobody did because we were quite far at the back. And surprisingly, the majority of the grid got through T1. Absolutely beautiful stuff there. Now, up the hill here, we still were able to get a little bit of draft and get on the tail of the field. We had a car behind us. Nothing to worry about there. I don't even know what he was doing. He sort of went for a move here, and then there's I don't know why he's too much throttle and he's driven himself off the track pretty much, but it's alright. Normally at this point in the race, yeah, this was weird, he did attack it. Normally at this point in the race you're expecting like someone to spin at the front and then a big bit of carnage, especially if you're really far back, but nothing really happened there. I guess we were slow through this corner and he goes full send here. This was like ridiculously risky. At this point in the race, where you've got draft, where I'm still with the field, this is so stupid for this guy to do this. He's put his car half on the grass to get beside us, and I moved out of the way. There's nothing really you can do to avoid that. You might as well just move out of the way. They're either going to wreck you or do something stupid to themselves, so I think it's a sensible thing to move out of the way. You're going to get a draft anyway, so it doesn't matter if they pass you. And what's done with this is he's got past us there, but then he's on the outside for this corner, so he can't do anything anyway. So he almost wrecked me and himself there for no reason. For no reason. But, you know, sometimes there's a gap, got to put your car in it, you know, sim racing. That purple car got a penalty, take the position. We managed to go around the outside here, but couldn't get enough power. But, actually, here's an interesting thing. Got around the outside, didn't get enough speed to get the pass in, but what I've done here, we've got the car on the left. What you could do is put your car all the way to the right, make sure no one's coming behind you. There's no other cars behind me. So what I want to do is move my car as far over to the left as possible to open up the corner for myself, and this also puts his car on the left. There's not much you can do. You've got to be aware here that this guy could turn into you like a lunatic. You never know. You never know. But generally, making your car close to theirs as well makes them a lot less likely to hot lap line into. So if I've got my car on the right here, even further to the right, giving them more space, you might think, oh, that's safer, I'm further away from them, but actually it's not, because they don't see you, they don't notice you, they take the wider line in and then hot lap into you, completely unaware that there's a car on the inside. So it's better to actually squeeze the car on the left. It's actually better racecraft as well, but you want to squeeze them on the left while still leaving enough room that they've got a bit of margin and netcode is all right. So we got that pretty well there, and from that we managed to actually get 2 places because they were super slow through it. I'm not carrying the speed through that corner yet anyway, because we're still learning the track in this car in the Guitar Hero method. What happened here, this red car goes too deep into the corner, goes wide there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like give as much room as possible on the right by going as far on the left as possible here, put my car right on the curbing. A little bit risky, you can destabilise the car, but I want to make it as much distance as possible, because it's quite likely that he can lose his car there and then accidentally spin into us when he gets back on the throttle, or he's frustrated, or he just turns left really aggressively in an unpredictable way. So we got a nice pass there, sneaking it through. Absolutely beautiful. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And we move forwards, and I start getting into a bit of a rhythm here. I was pretty happy with this. I think the chat can confirm this was nice and stable driving, strong and stable, getting up to speed. We did have this car coming back on us. Elio Rodriguez tries to go around the outside. Can't get enough, but this is where you get the draft coming into play. I'm driving. There's nothing I can do here. Just keep my car on the far right-hand side. Safest thing to do. Don't be, you know, I'm just staying right on the right-hand side. They can do whatever they want. Sometimes it's actually worth leaving a little bit, not being completely on the far right, making sure that they don't try and go to the right. So don't open up the right-hand side, maybe less than this. Sometimes it's worth going to the left a little bit because then it stops them. So then you've got a bit of margin on the right so that if they do really dumb stuff, you can move right before hitting the grass. So they're playing around in their little box over there. So constricting the box that they can play in can actually be safer than sticking right to the right hand side, even though you would think staying right on the far right hand side would actually be safer. So I'd say probably a little bit more than this on the left. Gives me a bit of margin, makes them feel more squeezed, but doesn't squeeze them in a risky way, and allows me a bit of escape road in case they crash, which they often do when they go into this corner. But once they're next to you, once they're beside you and there's no one else behind you, it's like that previous corner where you might as well actually hold them to the left more so that they don't turn into you. But I guess I wasn't paying attention. But we managed to get there. Car in front, turns in front of us. Nothing I can really do. We've got a car that's binned it over there. You know, at the end of the day, on a drafted track like this, at this point in the race and in general, you just have to accept the draft and go with the flow. Qualify higher. Just pretend you're sailing a boat. It's all fine. This guy goes into the wall like a prune. I don't know what he was doing. What happened to him? Was he punted? No, he's just... he's just turned and got on the throttle. It's put the tyres over the limit. You can't recatch them when the tyres overheat in iRacing. He's done. But this is the problem here. This is the prune move of the race. He's dead, right? He's gone right in the wall there. He's absolutely dead. He's lost his nose cone. But look, he gets on the accelerator here. Why? Maybe actually the internet said he's lost his nose cone, but he didn't actually. He probably thought his car's fine. That's a big crunches, and he just rolls straight into it. Like, that was so close to him taking us out here. Oh, that's the kind of thing I would get protested for, but I don't protest people because iRacing never gets better. You can protest people. People say, oh, why don't you that's why it doesn't get better, because you don't protest them, and now you're telling other people not to protest them. Believe me, after 3 months of playing iRacing straight and seeing people literally outright wrecking and then being protested, unless they are racist, sexist, offensive on the microphone, or driving around the track in reverse, or literally outright wrecking people, ain't nothing going to happen. That's iRacing. They need to moderate the servers, but they don't, because it's too expensive, obviously. Report for sure. So we got, that was about it really for all those movements there. My egg was cracked. Oh, we did get rear-ended actually. We got this nice little gaggle here. This was nice. This is actually a good thing about why you need a lot of cars in a race. Because even if you're not racing for first place, if you have like a 20, 30 car grid, it means that when things are broken up, you still have a race to take part in and other people to race against. And to be honest, once you've managed to surpass 5k I rating, in this case we've gone down to 4.3k, but I rating doesn't really make any sense anyway. Once you've done that challenge, don't care about I rating. You just want nice racing. So more cars in a race is nice, because it means whilst you're getting up to speed, you're probably going to be able to race people, and that's what we're here for really. A bit of racing action. So we got through here. We got in this gaggle. We got a nice train. This is also partly because of the draft. You'll get people in little trains on this track. Trains on the track, following along in the draft. Nice stuff. There it was. So he did apologise for this. Let's see what it looked like from his view. We take the tighter line in there because I want to hook around on this car and try and exit faster. That can work sometimes, but we weren't far enough ahead for it to work. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. This is never going to happen. This happens all the time with Spa. It's never going to work. I mean, mate, this space is going to disappear. You're never going to exit. You're never going to get enough aside. I'm already into the corner. You're never going to get enough aside from this far back to get it through there. From experience, I know that this is really, really common on this track. really, I mean, I was trying to double back on this guy to get a better exit for the straight, but if you need, this is top split, by the way, you still need to look in your mirror and be like, okay, there's a car behind me. They're going to see this gap, even though it can never possibly work. It's actually worth compromising other stuff for the sake of putting your car further on the left so that they don't do this. It's never going to work. I mean, half the time, even if you're further left, they'll put a wheel on a sausage and then smash you off the track. But this took him out and took another car out. Completely moronic move. Absolutely. Like, all he needed to do was, like, lift. And also, completely needless because you've got a straight and huge amounts of draft. It's actually better for him to wait, stay behind us, and go for the straight. There's no advantage, really, of him being right next to us or overtaking us here. It doesn't really... At this point in the race, it's kind of pointless. So he's gone for a gap that's not really there, particularly. He's too late, so he's hit us, and it doesn't really make sense. So, and as a result, it's because I've got a DD wheel and my egg was fully boiled, and as a result, extra hard. It's now ended up with him being driven into by this car because this car's behind and he's pushing, and he's like, he's going for it. He can't do it. There's nothing this guy can really do. Bonk. But he did say sorry. It wasn't intentional, so... Oh, no, did he type sorry, or did I... No, I said... He didn't say sorry. I just said... No worries, don't matter. I think he typed sorry, so I said no worries. I mean, it's, you know, whatever. I think it broke my suspension a bit. But, you know, it is what it is. That's iRacing. The only thing I could have done is put my car further to the left, preemptively. So, yeah, that's it. If you no longer go for a gap. But, yeah, you just have to imagine that you're being chased by hungry velociraptors. But as a result of that crash, I think it slowed us down a bit as well. And there was nothing else really for us to do. We had another car that was punted here. Let's see who's guilty on this one. Right, what happened here? So, you've got a car on the right. This guy is going to... yeah, iRacing physics and a bit of iRacing netcode. So, this is fine. This is all fine. He's opened the corner up a little bit for himself, which is perfectly fine. He's actually got his car turned in here. This guy's still turning in, but like, it's fine. It's totally fine. And then maybe this guy turned in more than he should have. Because this guy's so far on the inside in this corner, there's no point. He might as well run his car further wide and just wait for the next corner. There's probably still be side by side, but it looks like either a bit of netcode, but then also his tyres from turning and getting on the throttle over the limit. You can't counter steer like you would in R Factor 2, AC, AMS 1, R Factor 1. That's not something that exists in iRacing. Tyres over the limit, game over. Unlucky. You know, that's just needed to know the limits, iRacing's limits. Not much you can do, but I appreciate the donation of the position. That guy had damage. Oh, and we got the final punt at the end here before the egg, run down of the egg. I don't think there's much we could have really have learnt in this or done better, to be honest, other than drive faster and qualify better. Here we go. So we got the draft. I'm staying well on the right. These guys battling. Nothing I can do here. Nice and easy. Have a cup of tea. They... throw it in. I'm trying to see if there's an opportunity to get back round on the left-hand side. And they contact. I managed to get on my brakes, avoid it. Bloody, this guy almost pins me because he's paying no attention. This guy should be watching these two cars. If you're this car, you should be going, right, these two are side by side, this car's behind them. There could be something that happens. You don't, if you're this car, you think about where you can be based off if they're going to crash. You don't just go, oh, okay, I'll just full send it up the inside here. Complete non-awareness. I mean, actually, maybe you do because it worked out for him, so ignore what I'm saying. I know he killed himself. Don't do what he did. Yeah, don't do that. But also, who was guilty on this? We've got the blue car on the right. I think... So these guys were getting angry on the mic. Right. This blue car has moved to the left to open up this corner more. super aggressively, which is really likely to cause netcode issues. So why? That's just... This is really stupid by this car, because it's quite likely that this guy will turn to the right preemptively, because he does it. This guy's probably not aware of exactly where this guy's position is, especially with iRacers. If you run your mirror at a higher field of view, it gives you a better... It makes... You have to get used to it, because it looks like one of those lorry mirrors where things look at different speed and stuff. But you can get really good periphery with that. But it's quite likely he's not aware. So don't come off this corner. This guy should have just held a straight line here, and he probably could have outbroken this guy, or even held a line, and this guy would still be wary. This is totally needless. So he drives into him, a bit of netcode as well, and that type of movement suddenly moving across causes netcode issues all the time. They tangle, they do the tango. At that point, it's whatever's going on. I managed to get on my brakes and avoid it. Oh, he's angry, Samuel is. So he's got damage, and then just loses it. He's got angry. His car might actually have been not too badly damaged, but he's tilted from the accident. You need to not get tilted from accidents. You need to, like... I mean, I never get tilted, obviously. Just have a tea going into your veins. You don't know until like 10 seconds after the accident, thanks to iRacing's magic damage and netcode. If you've actually got damage, you can have cars land on you and all random crap happen, and you might not be that bad, and you can just keep driving. Him getting on his microphone has probably made him worse as well. He just needs to, like, keep going. I mean, maybe his car was wrecked, but, you know, and if his car was actually wrecked and he knew, to then be angry, well, don't, you know, go a bit slower and not spin. I don't know, but I can't be angry at him, really. It was just really hard for me to predict what was going to go on. I think I did a good job avoiding this. We can see... Well, you can't see because you can't see my pedal inputs. We're on the accelerator. As soon as I see him spin, I go full brake as much as possible. But obviously that causes to understeer a bit. So maybe if I went a little bit less on the brake, we might have missed him completely. That's all I could really do. Sometimes when they spin like this, they actually hold somewhat of a line. Like if this guy... So one of the tricks you can use in iRacing is you push your brake and the accelerator at the same time. And what that does is it's effectively like putting the brake bias all the way to the front. It's what Max Verstappen did at Interlagos in the wet. And the car will just hold like a position. That works really well in iRacing, especially when you can't catch the car due to iRacing's weirdo tyre model. Full brake and accelerator, and he could have probably have caught this. But also I could have probably done it and maybe slowed down without having to worry about spinning so much. But we mostly missed him, and that was it, really.
No reason to use.
Then they're complaining. But that was, you know, that was it, really. What a beautiful race. Fantastic time in iRacing. I will do a bit more practice on this. We'll do another one, and we can do another video. I mean, let me know, guys. Those of you watching this as a video, which is totally not recorded whilst live streaming. There's literally nobody watching this live. I can assure you. Nobody's watching on Twitch. Let me know if you like these rundown analysis videos. If you do, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, all that stuff. Bloody YouTubers, they're the worst people on earth. There we go. Thanks for watching. Take care. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us everywhere. Goodbye, guys.